Good morning and welcome to your class of Sexuality Matters, and today's topic is the G-spot. Yes, so the G-spot, is it a myth or a reality? I am your GOQii coach Niyatii N Shah, and I would love to see all of you today come live with me and go through this class and see whether really is it a myth or a reality. So welcome all of you, and I request you to wave me a hi, say hello, good morning, anything, just to know that you're here in numbers, and would love to interact with you on this topic. Yes, I do have a lot of information for you, but at the same time, I definitely want some interaction. Put in your questions for me, and we should be able to take it up from there. So welcome all of you once again to your class, Sexuality Matters, and today's topic is G-spot, myth or reality? So I'm waiting just for a minute to have more and more people join in, and till then it'll be great to know who all are there. If you could just say hi or hello to me. And yes, we are here in numbers, so just waiting for somebody to say hi. And you know what, I understand that these topics and these classes can be a little I don't know, a taboo still for a lot of many of us, or something that we are not ready to discuss out in the open. But see, I am right here for you. This platform is open to have honest discussions about this. I would genuinely request you not to hesitate and put down your questions, and let's take it up as adults and understand these topics. It's important for all of us to have these answers. So go ahead and type in your name, type in hi, let the world see you're here, not because we are showing ourselves to be very open and modern or anything, because it's genuinely a concern. These topics are something that we all want to know about. So what's the harm in just discussing something that's so natural and our culture always believed in? So please go ahead. And yes, now I have Kuldeep and Krishnan. Hello, good morning. And would love to see all those people who are signing in. All right. So your comments, your questions will be a great help for so many of us, on this platform today, because your question could be somebody else's question too. So don't hesitate and put it down. All right. So great. Today's topic is, hi Shripavan. Today's topic is something that many of us who have dwelled into or who have taken a little bit of efforts to understand what all goes on, in an adult sexual life. G-spot is something very openly discussed and very openly spoken about and questioned also, along with being discussed. So what is this whole thing, and why we are still debating whether it is a myth or it is a reality? So we need to understand exactly what's going on and what happened, where it came from. Why are we still calling it a myth, or why is this question even there? So let's take it up first to see, where did this G-spot come from? G-spot basically is given the name behind a doctor who was an obstetrician and a gynecologist, and his name was Grafenberg. Sorry, these names are also a little. So his name was Ernest Grafenberg, and he has written a book in 1980s, early 1980s, and the book was called The G-spot. Now, it was written by Ladas actually, and Whipple and Perry, and it was published by another people. But in 1950s, this doctor had made a mention about the G-spot, about women having this zone in her vagina, a small, I will say zone as in a patch of the entire vaginal canal. Okay, you remember, right? The vaginal canal is like a long muscular tube. I'm just showing this as a passage through which the penis is inserted during intercourse, right? So So vaginal walls is, since it's a hollow, a narrow way, the vaginal wall and I also have a image to show you. Maybe that will become easier. So where is the G-spot? First, let me talk about that, what Grafenberg was speaking about. So this is what he was talking about, all right? Okay. Now, because of the comments, okay. So this is the vagina as very well shown. Once the entire vaginal wall, there is this space. If this is the vaginal wall, the front wall of the vagina, see the woman is standing, the vagina goes this way, the front wall of the vagina somewhere, so this is the vaginal opening from the vulva, so somewhere here in between on the frontal wall, and understand this as a circumference, and on the frontal wall is where just above 1.5 to 2 inches inside the wall, this is where they say the zone is, this is where the spot is. So while I'm showing this to you, all right, okay, while I'm showing this to you, so see, they've put the finger through the vagina, through the vulva, a vaginal opening, and here the lady is sleeping right now, so here on the frontal wall, okay, so this is the pubic bone, this is the vulva, all right, so here, and this spot just around 1.5 to 2 inches inside on the top wall, frontal wall, this is where the G-spot is for a female. Right now I'm talking about the females. So I hope you're getting the diagram straight. All right. This is where the G-spot is according to Grafenberg, the doctor. And in the book G-spot also, the whole, this mention is there. And people believe, women believe, and women have experienced orgasm through this G-spot. So now women have different ways of attaining orgasms. They can attain orgasm by clitoris stimulation, by vaginal stimulation, penetration, by nipple stimulation, the G-spot stimulation. Then there is a C-spot and a A-spot and an O-spot. So today let's talk about the G-spot. And the spot, as we were mentioning, it was named after this doctor, and in the book called the G-spot, there is so much mention of this. The speculation is that if this zone is so, okay, so what they mean to say is, I'm going back to there's actually so much information, it becomes a little tricky to explain this. Okay, so what they say is that this zone here, okay, inside the vaginal wall, on the frontal wall, there is a collection, there's a complex of tissues and nerves together. All right, only when there is this whole cluster of nerves, where it is stimulated, that is where you attain orgasm. So this is where women are also speculated that they have this whole complex of tissues and nerves which swells when you stimulate that area, and when it swells, it gives you, and you keep stimulating it, and it gives you an opportunity to attain orgasm. And this orgasm is higher maybe or more, it takes the whole body to react. That's why this orgasm is really, really sought after. Now, there is not a lot of research that has been done on the existence of this G-spot, okay, because the scientist cannot find any such area where there is a lot of nerve endings and a complex with tissues. So if you understand, where the researchers are coming from, they are looking for this spot when they are researching the tissues and the nerve endings and all the neuroscience is coming in place, that they cannot find something where there's a whole complex of tissues and nerves together in that 1 inch of the vaginal wall. That is why it is still called or considered to be a myth. At the same time, women have come up and expressed that they do find these spots in their vagina, whether it is self-stimulated or with the partner, but this spot is present for them, and when they stimulate and in that area, they definitely feel the orgasm way higher than just normal sex. Now, while the researchers say there is no more nerve endings in any spot, any concentration of any area in the vagina than the other. So according to the researchers, the entire vaginal tube has equal number of nerve endings and tissues. There is no complex like that. There is no certain ball of nerves or tissues which is focused or concentrated in one part of the vaginal wall. They can't figure this out. But something is there because of which the women are feeling this certain spot which swells, and when stimulated, they have this huge orgasm, and they also have the desire to pee, to urinate. Now, this is different from the vaginal intercourse that these women have. So while the researchers still can't find it, women are saying, and women have expressed that yes, they do feel orgasms at different parts of the vagina. Now, G-spot specifically is given this spot which is on the frontal wall and just another 1.5 or 2 inches inside from the vaginal opening. There are other spots, as I was saying. There's a O spot and a spot, and of course the G spot, which are at different areas in the vaginal, in the vagina. One is behind the opening, which is the cervix. One is just at the cervix. One is this frontal wall. So there are different areas that women have come out and expressed that they could attain orgasm because of stimulation in that area. Now, G-spot stimulation is also understood. If you stimulate there, it can lead to a woman ejaculating, which is also called squirting. So there are women who say if our G-spot are stimulated well, we could squirt, so we could ejaculate. Now, women do not have sperms. There are no reproductive cells in her ejaculation. That's a completely different, bigger topic. But G-spot is not a myth. It is a reality for a lot of women, and it remains a myth for the researchers because they can't find any such spot where they could see this whole nerve endings and tissues, where they could find some spot like that. There are a lot of sensitive parts in our bodies containing these nerve endings per square inch. So you will understand that, think about the fingertips, okay? Our fingertips compared with our soles probably on your feet. Our fingertips have significantly more nerves in this 1 square inch than on our foot, on our feet. So this is what we are comparing. So there are more nerve endings in this much space than probably even here. This has more nerve endings. Similarly, in the vagina itself, the researchers are looking for that 1 inch where there are more nerve endings than anywhere in the vaginal wall. All right. Now, this G-spot right now, we are talking about the female. There is a G-spot for the male too. We will get to it very soon. Despite the lack of evidence, as I was mentioning, the existence of G-spot is widely accepted by many women around the world. Now, this is not what we are talking about women only in India. We are talking about women around the world have experienced this kind of orgasm and stimulation to this area. Now, how do you stimulate G-spot? So going back to the image, as you saw it here too, if you are doing it yourself, women, this is what I am telling you. If you are stimulating it yourself, you lie down and put your index finger inside you and let it go on top. So if you're inserting, let it be inserted like this, your palm facing upward towards the ceiling, towards your face. And then you have to stimulate this spot by movement like this. Okay, so if your partner is helping you, this is how he or she will insert her finger in the vagina, and then this is the movement, and this is how you stimulate the G-spot. You getting it? So if you are doing it yourself, you have to ensure that the finger is going in like that. So this is the frontal wall for us when we are lying down, and then you go this movement. So this is the movement, how you stimulate the G-spot inside the vagina. All right. So even if your partner is stimulating it for you, that will be the movement, and you will have to go a little bit up and down here and there to see if where exactly is your spot. Now this is not like a Google location which it will give you the exact pin. So for different women it could be a different spot. So explore a little bit. And while you're doing that, please understand that not every woman has attained orgasm or found the G-spot for herself. So relax if you can't find it. It's just one more zone that you don't know about, or maybe it doesn't exist for you. So it's absolutely okay. So there is no way you have to feel any less or not enough if you do not find your G-spot. It's absolutely okay. You have the clitoris, the queen with you. Most women attain orgasm because of the stimulation on the clitoris. Lesser women have orgasm because of the vaginal penetration, and lesser women have orgasm by stimulating the G-spot. So while you definitely would want to know about it, you might be exploring your body to see where it is. If you can't find it, just relax. It's just one more spot that probably is not there for you. So it does not make you any less or not good enough to have the sexual experiences other women have. So we women somewhere are a little lucky, because not only we have so many zones and so many ways to attain orgasm, we also have multiple orgasms. So why not make use of the zone that works for us, right? Now, when you go to a restaurant, it's not necessary that you like all the dishes there. You have your favorites, and you know what will give you the satisfaction, for what you've come there. So it's just like that. You might have it, you might not have it. So relax. It's absolutely okay if you can't find it. You might just find another zone while you're exploring yourself, right? So don't worry about it, because what is happening is this worry is ultimately becoming a psychological problem for us women, and the men are wondering why you can't find it, and women are just rushing towards getting it surgically corrected and to have better orgasms. And there are these surgeries called the G-spot augmentation, where I'm not belittling any profession, or I'm not saying that should or should not. It's just like I'm straightening my nose. Yes, there are doctors who will help you straighten your nose, but your nose is fine. It's doing its job, right? So, and similarly, you don't have to rush for any surgeries or for any alteration in your body just because you can't find the G-spot. So just relax, okay? If it's not there, you probably will find your A and the O spot, and you'll understand that nipple is giving you better orgasm than probably G-spot would. So it's absolutely okay. Whatever works for you is important. So exploring your body is important, definitely, but not only in the vagina, also all over. So we know a lot of people who have feet, fetish, and they get all the orgasm just by somebody playing with their feet or sucking on their toes. It could be any place for you, all right? So while you are exploring, as I said, the G-spot, don't go behind it as if you don't have it, you are incomplete. Absolutely not. It's just that you don't have it. Simple. There are other zones that work for you. So that's that. About the male G-spot now. No, one more point that I want to say is, while G-spot was popular back in the 1980s, and Dr. Grafenberg did mention about it in 1950s, the talk about this sensitive area, One second. So while the talk about G-spot was since 1950s, nowhere has any researcher or doctor mentioned that there is an anatomical structure that once you put in your finger or anything, any tool, you will find a specific organ there or a part there. So like this is my fingers, you can see it anatomically, it is present here. So when the researchers are looking for the G-spot, they are not looking for some organ or a body part. They are only looking for the nerve endings and the tissues, which when stimulated, when he says that if you stimulate that area, it swells, and you continue stimulating, and then it gives you an orgasm. So there is no anatomical structure. So when you are exploring your partner or exploring yourself, do not expect to find a swollen area already. No, you will have to continue stimulating one area to see if it's swelling or no. Then the other area to see if it's swelling or no. So it is not something that once you put in, you will find this particular area. So that is the reason it becomes a myth that we don't know if it's there or not. And it is a little effort once you are exploring yourself and you still don't know where that spot is. So relax and explore it, okay? And give it some time to stimulate and see whether that is swelling up for you or not. There is a question which is, what does orgasm mean? Orgasm mean the peak, the final peak of the pleasure you get out of the sexual activity and the burst of this sexual excitement that you have for the women. And for the men, when you ejaculate, your semen is when you attain orgasm. And after that, you calm down and you relax. So the peak of the excitement, where there's outburst of this sexual excitement, is what is called orgasm. So there is no anatomical structure for everyone to understand that. And nobody also guaranteed that even if you find some spot like that, it is going to give you an orgasm. So think about you going gaga over this spot or trying to find it. Even if you probably do find it, even if there probably is a swelling, there is no guarantee that there's going to be an orgasm. So explore, have fun, and see if it works for you. There is nothing that you have to take back home, or there's a medal given if you find your G-spot. It's just knowing your body, right? It is knowing that where are these areas where I can probably get my orgasm from, and if it is anything more than the clitoris, then why not? I would definitely want to have the sexual experiences, stimulating different parts of our body. And yes, maybe one type of stimulation and orgasm, or the arousal could become boring after a while. So why not explore and see if there's anything else also that could excite a person, for you yourself or for the partner. So that is very, very important to continuously keep exploring yourself, and you never know what you're going to come across. So again, there's no guarantee that you will have orgasm, even if you probably find that location. So yes, again, once more, I would want to put this point that the exact location can vary from person to person, okay? And so if it's an inch above the 1.5, 2 inch I've told you, it could be possible, or to the left or to a little right, and it feels good, that's what it is. That's cool, right? So you just take that. There's a question, how do we know the female has reached orgasm? So Anil, you will not know. You will not know. Only when the woman says she's reached orgasm, she's reached orgasm. So that is the reason we have a lot of women faking orgasm, because somewhere either the partner is expecting her to have an orgasm and she's either just not getting it, or she wants to get away from the entire act, she will fake an orgasm. And unless you are very, very observant and you know exactly how your woman reacts when she is attaining orgasm, you probably might be able to tell the real from the fake. So yeah, it's actually absolutely upon a woman when she says that she's attained an orgasm. She's attained an orgasm. I joined a bit late, so is this spot near the clitoris or deep inside? It's inside the vagina. Now the vagina is, let me see if I can find that image also for you. The vagina is, I have that image, I'll look it up for you. And so the vagina is the muscular tube, which is the passage from the vulva to the uterus. Okay, so the vulva is the outer organ of the female, which you can see. Then there is the vaginal opening through which the penile penetration happens during sexual intercourse. So the penis is entering into the vagina. So the vagina is the internal tube, muscular tube. So this G-spot is inside the vagina and on the frontal wall. So if the woman is standing, it's on the frontal wall, okay, in the front, and it's 1.5 to 2 inches inside. So that is where the G-spot is supposedly to be. So if you want, I can show you the image once again for you to know. Here, I hope you can see it. This is the person's finger. This is entering the vagina, and here on the top, the lady is lying down with her stomach facing to the ceiling. So she's lying on her back, and this is where the G-spot is. Yes. Right? So this is about the female G-spot. Very quickly, now about the male G-spot. I'm opening a diagram for you. All right, and okay. Now the male G-spot is the prostate. Okay, now that is what a male G-spot means. It's a prostate. There is an organ called prostate which helps you with the semen production, and this is about 2 inches inside the rectum. Rectum is through which you pass stools towards the belly. Okay, I'm showing you the image, and because the prostate contains a lot of nerve endings, again, all the orgasm zones that anybody experiences is because of all the collection. They contain a ton of nerve endings, because of which when you stimulate or when you use it to arouse a person, you can attain orgasms. So all these places that we are talking about, whether it's the nipple or the clitoris or the vagina or the G-spot, A-spot, O-spot, any of these areas, it is the collection of these tons of nerve endings. And so it is said that for a man, the amount of nerve endings a female has in her clitoris, like clitoris is the biggest and the most nerve, it contains the most number of nerve endings. That is the reason every woman, literally every woman, unless she's asexual, can get an orgasm easier with the clitoris and not just by the vaginal penetration. So there are as many nerve endings for a man in the prostate as much as a woman has in her clitoris. So once again, and this really can open up a completely new avenue for a man, for the pleasure, for a pleasure for men, if they are willing to try it. Now this is completely individual basis, and some men are okay with it, some men are absolutely not okay with it. So don't force yourself into it. It's just something that the researchers know, the observers have mentioned. If you are willing to explore, absolutely. But there is a lot that you need to be very, very careful about also. Men can have a prostate orgasm without stimulating the penis, okay? So first let me just show this to you without any delay. Oops. So this is what we are talking about. Now this is the penis, this is the scrotum, this is your anus, and once you put your finger or toy or any any tool that you're using, just make sure that you're not harming yourself. There's no other danger. It's cleaned well, and there are no risk of infections, and then only do all these things, okay? And here is exactly where the prostate gland is, very close to the bladder. And when you put pressure and stimulate this part, this is where the man can get orgasm without touching the penis. No erection, no stimulating the penis, but here is where a man can feel the pleasure of an orgasm. So this is supposedly the man's G-spot. So G-spot is not only for the women, G-spot is also for the man. The orgasm from your prostate is, for the men, is a full body orgasm. All right, it's not just about in the head or anything. It's literally completely all over the body, and it can give a completely full body orgasm. And you can also feel a tingling sensation all over your body. So when I say it's a full body orgasm, it literally means all your muscles and all your nerves are somewhere tickling, and you're getting this entire body orgasm. All right. Okay, so one thing is about the prostate orgasm, it requires more time to warm up. All right, it requires more time to warm up and more energy also. So energy as in not like you have to work on it or anything, but it takes a little time to warm up, and it takes a little time. So as a woman usually warms up, for man it was easier, it is more faster. Any touch or visuals can give him an instant erection, but when it comes to the G-spot, you have to kind of give it a little effort, work around it, and that is where the male G-spot is. But whatever the men have shared who have attained an orgasm through stimulating the prostate have said that it's totally worth it, and so have the women actually. Women also give the same feedback that the vaginal wall inside, if you can find the spot, it is an out of the world experience. And some women think it is the clitoris, because of which they get that kind of feeling. But either ways, all I want to say is just don't get so psyched about it if you can't find it. That's all I'm saying. If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. It's as simple as that. If it's there, good for you, you found a spot, and it's going to give you a little more of a different experience. But if it's not, kill it. One more thing what I want to say is, just in case, for men, if your partner is not ready to help you attain that kind of orgasm, do not feel bad. In our culture or globally, sex has become such a debatable topic, and we all have our own conditionings around it. So some people who have been brought up in an open environment where the parents or the house environment was such where sex was spoken as just any other normal thing that people do, these people do come out a little more open to the subject and open to exploring. But there are homes where we don't even utter the word "sir" for sex, or boys are only bad to that matter, or girls are cheap if they are talking or thinking about exploring their sexuality. So when people come from different backgrounds, they might not be okay helping you stimulate your prostate. You could use certain tools or toys or anything that can help you insert. Just understand where it is located and what the angle should be. Like for the woman, whatever you use has to have a little bit of an angle, so that once it is inserted, it can give you that kind of stimulation. So there has to be something that is a tip which kind of gives that stimulation on the vaginal wall. If the woman is sleeping on her belly, then you enter this way because her frontal wall is now gone down, and again this tip is going to stimulate her wall. So similarly for the men, also understand that the nails cannot be like these, okay? This is not how you will enter your partner. So have clean fingers, use condoms if you have to, use any toys that can give you that kind. All the toys are available, not here probably, but if you find something, well and good for you. But if not, you could use your finger and explore. But if your partner is not okay with it, don't get into it. Respect your partner's decision and desires, and don't get into it. At the same time, the partner who's not okay doing it, consider it for your partner that yes, I don't like doing it, I don't want to put my fingers in your rectum, but at the same time, you know what, I know you want it a lot, so maybe I could give it a shot and see how I feel also. So let it be a couple decision and not just one person demanding from the other. So that's not how sex is at all. So respect and consent is very, very important. All right. My girlfriend masturbates through her fingers. Is it fine? Absolutely, it is fine. It's absolutely fine. Does use of vibrators desensitize the clitoris or the G-spot? Is it why it's difficult for male partners to help the female partners attain orgasm? Priyanka, the only problem is use of vibrators do not desensitize anything. It's just another tool like a penis. So no, it does not desensitize. Why it is difficult for male partners to help female partners attain orgasm is because one, they don't know that female also can orgasm. Females don't know that they orgasm. The male, how their system works is once they are aroused, it's very easy for them to attain orgasm. So to practice delay or to practice control over the orgasm is something that the male has to go through, So yes, if the male has an erection, if he enters, if he penetrates a woman, the stimulation is so high because it's a complete tight, stimulation, or the entire penis is being, there's friction and there's stimulation, and he's bound to come. But when your female partner has not yet attained, the man has to somewhere realize that, okay, it's time for me, to control. The man has to come out and then wait for the female partner to attain her orgasm in whichever way she can, and then go for his, or both of y'all can come together. So the lack of information, the lack of sex education is the reason why male partners do not know how to help the female partners. But we female are also to be, said we are also responsible for not helping our partners to understand our body. So yes, maybe they don't have the sex education from the books or from classrooms or teachers or textbooks or anywhere else, but at least we should know our own body, right? We can help and guide our partners to say that, okay, you know what, I need to be cuddled this way, or I need to be stimulated this way, or this is how I feel aroused. So when you guide your partner, it becomes easy for him to give you. But here we are all, in that ego zone that you bloody don't know anything and I don't attain orgasm and my man doesn't know. No, here I'm not talking about you, Priyanka, per se, I'm talking about a woman. So even when I, had my first encounter, it was new for me too, right? Whatever age that be. But only when I started exploring myself, I started talking to my partner about it, is when he's exploring, I'm exploring, and we come up with these bundles of different things that we can do and, attain orgasm together. So this is what a woman, also a man for that matter, every woman knows that it's the penis, but maybe for a man it is something else. So talk to your partners about it and help each other explore and attain the orgasm. All right. can you mention the details of the location of the male G-spot? Yes, I can show you one more time where it is. I'll show you two pictures for that matter. It is inside the rectum, so through the anus, and so either of the G-spots, if it's male or female, ensure that when you're stimulating, it is not just a light feeling, okay? You have to put a little pressure and then you have to stimulate. So there's effort over there. It's not just very light feeling, like as if you're just, kind of touching it. It has to be with a little pressure. So with a little pressure, you have to stimulate. So this is where the male G-spot is. One more time. So this is the anus. You insert the finger or any other tool and go straight to the prostate. This also you'll have to explore to find out where exactly the male is feeling the pleasure. So this is where it is. This is the prostate gland. This is the bladder. So right here. Okay. So that is where the male G-spot is. Sometimes she does with fingers for attaining orgasm. Yes, Shri Pavan. So if you are having penetrative sex, vaginal penetration, you can also stimulate her clitoris, because most of the women, as I was mentioning, attain their orgasm not by vaginal penetration but because of the clitoris stimulation. So it is not about you not being able to give her the pleasure, it's just that her pleasure lies in the clitoris. So while you are penetrating her, ensure, let me see if I can, just make sure her clitoris is also stimulated at the same time when you are penetrating. So if you can't do it yourself, let her help herself and both of you can attain orgasm. The idea is to attain orgasm. All right. So if that is how she feels, if that is how she gets her orgasm, that's how she gets her orgasm. All right. So that is the end of all our questions and comments here. And I genuinely want to thank you. I've got a lot of love from you today. Almost 15,000 likes. If you still haven't hit the heart, please hit that heart and show me some love. Tell me that you've liked the class today, and huge numbers coming in, 7,000 people watching us and more coming online on these live sessions on GOQii platform. Dil se gratitude for allowing me to talk to you and empowering you and educating you and sharing what I have known in my journey as a sexuality educator. So thank you once again, and see you tomorrow 10 o'clock with a topic for kids. And again, the more shows are coming up, and keep an eye on me and the classes, and for that matter, all the GOQii coaches. They are doing an amazing job. So once again, thank you for being here on a Saturday morning, and see you next week. Till then, be the force. Bye.